The cost to send cargo into space has dropped by several orders of magnitude over the last few years. And this is, namely because of the advent of reusable launch vehicles developed by SpaceX, Blue Origin, and others, which have brought the cost to send 1 kilogram of cargo into low Earth orbit down to $300 to $500. And if you compare this to sending a kilogram of cargo into space back in the 1960s or 70s, before reusable rockets were successfully prototyped and tested, the cost to send a kilogram of cargo into space back then was between $25,000 and $30,000 per kilogram. And the comparison you can make is components of those launch vehicles back in the 60s and 70s were single-use items. So after the boosters brought the launch vehicle up to a certain altitude, the boosters were discarded in the ocean, and most of the rest of the launch vehicle was also discarded. Now, when the advent of reusable launch vehicles like the Falcon 9 and the planned development and production of the Starship, the cost is going to continue to go down. And one comparison I always like to draw is, what if you were to take a transcontinental flight from New York to Paris, and every single time that flight landed, the whole plane was discarded? And that's basically how we were approaching the space industry for the last 40 or 50 years before SpaceX came along. But now the architecture and the physics and engineering baseline is set to where reusable launch vehicles can be mass-produced and sized up, like you've seen with Starship, and the cost to send a kilogram of cargo to space is going to continue to come down. And I like to also draw the comparison of what it used to be like to send freight via air. Sending mail or a parcel via air freight used to be prohibitively expensive, especially when it was just, namely a few different providers that could do it. And with the entrance of FedEx and UPS entering the market, and them acquiring their own cargo airplanes, increasing the efficiency of the routes and the operation of these aircraft, now you and me and average people in the U.S. can send a parcel next day air or 2-day express air to almost anywhere in the country domestically, and pretty quickly internationally as well. And I'm thinking in the future that air cargo and space cargo, namely, will become so inexpensive that the average person will be able to send a parcel anywhere in the world within 45 minutes to an hour if there's a planned launch. And this kind of changes the way that we might look at logistics, or how you might look at how you can get a critical part or a life-saving drug anywhere on the planet within 45 minutes to an hour. And I'm envisioning that there'll be multiple launch vehicles taking off all over the world, probably almost every day, if not multiple times a day. And there'll likely be some sort of warehousing activity that will be in space, maybe to kind of house high demand items, kind of like Amazon does it now with their warehouses. Instead of getting Amazon Prime 2-day express or same-day delivery, you might be able to get Amazon Prime Air, or I should say Amazon Prime Aerospace, within 45 minutes to an hour anywhere on the planet. So I think the future of space logistics is going to look way different, and the cost is going to continue to plummet more than we know.